trying to catch her. And so part of it too is what build.
Early game start there from Aurora. Talk about worry about the initiations. Aurora already got the crucial kill onto JP onto the middle lane.
Yeah, I remember talking about this when it comes to Aurora last week when they have a Kali and a Juicin combo, something like that, in the center of the map. They always want to start the game in the similar way. Aggro, heavy poke, get that early first blood or even force out an early flicker or recall to go back to base to really win the center of the map.
Now Renji wants to go for Oheb. That's a trade. I know Renji is willing to take 10 out of 10 times.
No, Renji he flickered while praying, then he stood up under a tower, then Desert Tornado.
I like that you mentioned the Jushin Khalid combo because they literally did this against Omega a couple of days back.
Yep.
And you remember the Raging Sandstorm flicker combo of Renji to take down Andoryu. But wait a minute, they're going for Carl TZ. And immediate response from Sanford and Carl to turn things around and take down 2.
No, that's the Nine Tails unleashed right there.
That's Naruto.
Right? Oh my god, Aurora all dived onto the Lucas early on, level 4. Hell yeah, the Lucas is gonna be happy about that. You get so much back and you deal so much damage.
And now they're starting things off by trying to secure the turtle, but a good initiation there coming in from TLPH Retribution Battle, and Renji is going to steal it out as they take down Carl TZ and JP as well, but the fight is still not done. They want to go for more. Yue working on Sanford. Edward with the combo and the double. The next target is Sanji. 2 Raging Sandstorms committed, and Sanji will be able to walk away.
Man, we have a game on our hands already for this game 1. And it's Aurora holding their own and even getting an advantage against a team like TLPH who loves to start early and aggressive. They're fighting back.
Told you guys, chess match, headbutting in an octagon with monster trucks. Already 8 kills before the 3-minute mark, an absolute bloodbath everywhere. And I am enjoying what I'm seeing because yes, there's a lot of fights, there's a lot of kills, but it's all for major objectives and major early game conditions.
I honestly appreciate the tech pause early on, because it gave us a calm before the storm, because right now, Team Aurora again putting a lot of pressure onto the middle lane, now onto the bottom lane. They want to work on Oheb. Oheb not a good start though, as Dominkai just literally winning the gold lane matchup.
Yeah, Oheb might have to rely on some support here, of course, and also could just be one of those instances where you really need to get to that late game for this Kimmy to shine. You know, we're seeing things right here. It's a small gold lead right now for Aurora, but it seems like they control the map, you know, because of, again, the amount of utility that they're able to go ahead and play with. So they're going to wait and set things up for this next objective. The Turtle's about 30 seconds away. And Oheb continuing up here, trying to hold his own. But yeah, you have Dominkai with that small minor lead against Oheb right now.
All right, so we see Oheb using the second skill to get into a little bit of a better position to poke against the Moskov. So Dominkai used the knockback, then Oheb quickly popped the second skill to get a little bit of a movement speed boost, to get a little bit closer to the Moskov, to be able to dish out a bit of basic attack.
Okay, now they spotted out JP, so JP's gonna walk away, but now Aurora has good position for this turtle deck, but immediately 4 members of the cavalry are here to contest for that turtle.
Okay, Turtle's up. Kronti's going to hold his own up front. You got the push on bottom. There they go.
There's JP, and now Carl TZ goes in with the Unleash the Beast and secures the turtle. Plus 2 kills to Edward and to Renegade, but they want to go for more. Yue pops his Purify. He's going to be able to escape, but that's a win for TLPH.
So unfortunate there for Aurora. The SOD of Oheb didn't hit. Although if it did hit, I don't think Dom and Kite would have gotten in there. It would have been way too risky, as Carl TZ, another great flash combo while Unleash the Beast is up, was able to knock back and deal a good amount of burst damage onto 2, which led to a big win for TLPH. So far, Carl TZ's been on point right there with the flash combo of the Lucas.
Yeah, that's what's really devastating when he's able to go ahead and do that. Dominkai sitting at the top of the gold, standing here right now. Almost got that turret, should get it here. It's going to fall down now, tier 1 in the bottom lane, and Renegade will force Sanford back. So, Edward, hold on.
Okay. Connects the combo, but Carl TZ was able to dash out. There's the Lantern Flare. Also, Carl TZ cannot escape 3, and he's going to fall down.
That just looked like a really good read there by Aurora, acknowledging that it seems like JP isn't within the vicinity of protecting Carl TZ, so they just went ahead, made the call, and went for the invade and took down Carl. Great call by Renjay, Yue, and the lads, the rest of Aurora.
Yeah, there's, again, they're playing around the fact that they have a lot of these options to move around the map together, especially around Yue. Yue is going to be very troublesome for TLPH when they want to decide on, you know, trying to either escape or even engage in some of these fights, just because that's what the Jushin does so well. It provides so much of that option to bring them back or even force a fight with the beacon here. So they'll still hold on to the mid lane, at least for now, both teams with the tier 1. They're going to have to deal with Domenkite, though. I'm kind of worried that they're not able to keep up with that push here. Real quick, too, Kimmy flies back to the land of Dawn. The last time Kimmy was played in MPL Philippines was in Season 9. That's April 29th, 2022, by then Onyx Philippines Marky.
Yeah, that's 2 picks now in 2 days that were last played in Season 9. Yesterday, it was Isun Shin, last played Season 9 by Kyrie. Now it's the Kimmy.
And now they're going for Oheb. Oheb, though, was still able to escape, but Aurora's clearly dominating every single thing. The quick sand guard is even enough against the damage coming in from Oheb as Aurora sets things up with the turtle.
All right, here's the turtle. Last one in the game is going to be fought for. There's the conceal from JP.
Okay, we're going to wait for Rendray's initiation, but Edward already committed the ultimate. TLPH still holding on for this turtle. Demon Kite will go back in, and no, as Carl TZ will secure the last turtle.
But right now, Team Liquid Philippines are getting out-macroed by that Moskov. Aurora have changed their conditional priorities. Renjay concealed in the back, gets spotted out by Carl.
Good initiation from Carl TZ. Might be able even to bring down the Hitman. Forced out the flicker already. Here comes Unleash the Beast! Carl TZ, revenge tour as he takes down Renjay.
That was a mistake, Renjay-san. That's what Carl TZ said. He spots him out, takes him out in a easy, just 1v1 even. And so, yeah, that was a little moment that TLPH needs. Again, they're still getting out macroed, though, at the you know, big picture here.
Let's see if Team Liquid Philippines will be able to convert their skirmish wins, objective wins, through with better macro. I think Team Liquid Philippines at some point might actually double down on the idea of the only way we can wipe them out is if we are walking to a fight 5v4 that becomes a 5v5 because of a SOD entry by Moskov, and just out-execute and win it from there. Because Dominicate is not showing up in these fights. He is pushing the map, which I am not knocking. Whoa!
Already commits a lot just to bring down the Hitman, and they will do so successfully. Now the 5v4 that they were looking for can happen now. Renjay is gone.
Yeah, good usage once again at JP, finding a target and taking him out there with the Tsunami Slam. Demon Kite going up top.
Okay, waiting for the Wiki Shadow Kill, already connecting. Oh, and immediately bursted him down, plus the combo onto Carl TZ. Unleash the Beast isn't enough, though. Yu is just trying to work on Carl TZ as Demon Kite brings him down. Now the chase is on. Edward flickers in. A shadow coming in from Demon Kite. They want to bring down Sanji, force out the Crimson Beacon, and now a sacrifice for Daddy JP to make sure Sanji escapes.
Okay, so the enhanced basic attack of the Kalea, JP was actually tracking Demon Kite, and that animation could have locked in all the way to a Demon Kite getting killed by JP. But while JP was mid-air in that animation, Demon Kite knocked the Kalea back into a wall, stunning and stopping him, so that didn't lead to Demon Kite falling down in the hands of JP.
So good when the team fighting just breaks out between these two teams. And now the Lord going to be blitzed here. I don't think TLPH can do anything.
Aurora blitzing the Lord, and they will get it successfully. They might want to go for a trade, forced out the Raging Sandstorm coming in from Renjay. They also take down jungle creeps away from TLPH.
Oh, the back and forth between these two. Aurora, though, have gotten some much bigger wins in recent minutes, now ballooning to a 5K gold lead. Look at the two junglers. The main condition right now is Carl TZ for Liquid, still very close in terms of the gold against the Hayabusa, while the Kimmy is falling behind compared to Dom and Kite, who has his 3 core items and is on the way to potentially full building the Rose Gold Meteor after already picking up the Magic Blade. Only up to a Holy Crystal, though, is this Kimmy after a Feather of Heaven rush.
Yeah, Dominicite's been doing work on these turrets. TLPH might look to force a fight here.
Forced out the Crimson Beacon plus Purify, so 2 major resources gone for Yue. Sanji already has his own Raging Sandstorm. JP Used up the flicker, but not enough space to catch Demon Kite.
Yeah, that could have been a good read because that's where Demon Kite was. It's just they were a moment too late. So that was a good read by JP. It's just unfortunate that the timing was already off. And Team Liquid Philippines, even though they brought Yue down low, they couldn't risk forcing that team fight in the orange buff because the Lord was marching up top.
Yeah, they still got to deal with this Lord. There's the Rose Gold Meteor being locked in now by Dome and Kite. They're going to be fine. They're going to knock down the tier 2 in the mid lane. And TLPH will try to hold in against this, but they might get forced into a fight here.
Dome Kite enters in. We have 2 flickers from Edward and Renegade. Will they force anything out? Call TZ goes. Dome Kite in the front lines got punished by the cavalry.
Wow. I'm surprised they just caught Dome Kite there.
Yeah, got blasted. I did not expect that sheer raw output of damage, and I don't think Dom Kite expected that as well. I feel like a part of him is going, I wish I could still split push at this point. But there's nothing to split push. He did too good a job at split pushing.
There's nothing else for him to split push at this point. Yeah. So yes, he goes down there in that instance, and that's a showing that TLPH's damage is obviously still pretty good, despite them earlier being down by 3,000-4,000 gold. They still can go ahead and work towards getting some of these turrets down. That's what they really need to get back into this game here, especially before that next Lord comes up. So they might have to rely every single time JP has that flicker available to try to go ahead and make a play just to get that numbers advantage, because he's going to be the one to do it. And also, depending on what ultimate Sanji has been taking, majority of this game, we've seen him go ahead and take UAs, but right now he's holding on to the Khalid ultimate too, just to see if he can use the Raging Sandstorm to set things up so it doesn't always have to be JP. Because if they can kind of combo those together or pick one or the other, that might keep Aurora on their toes here before the next objective.
You also see Carl TZ positioning a little bit more like the utility junglers of old. So they're juggling the role of frontliners between Sanford, Carl TZ, and JP in terms of who's going to get the vision first, so that it becomes a sign for the others to initiate. So I like what the Team Liquid Philippines are doing right now, but Aurora are doing it really well as well.
Is this worth it though? They went for the Sanford trade, now a counter conceal from TLPH, forced Aurora back, and we are going to witness a potential Lord dance unless Carl TZ goes in with the Unleash the Beast. A lot of combinations. Shockwave Blast to bring down Yue in the middle lane, but a counter attack coming in from Dome Kite and Demon Kite as well. They were able to bring down Sanji. Now the Wiki Shadow Kill connecting as they also bring down the Hitman. JP working onto the middle. Dome Kite was able to force out, but here comes Carl TZ. and Sanford. Will he be able to escape? But Demon Kite has his back. Edward's immortality for Sanford soaking up the damage. Edward with the combo. Demon Kite, Domin Kite is still alive.
Domin Kite alive amongst it all somehow. They're still going to be working on the Lord here. Demon Kite is there, but it's going to go for a reset. Too risky, Aurora says, and they back off. What a fight that was.
What Demon Kite, Edward, and Doming did in that engagement, in that exchange, was otherworldly. They provided so much space for that Moskov to free hit, and now the Lord, who gets it as Aurora is rushing.
They're blitzing it because Carl TZ's not in the picture now. Aurora secures the Lord.
Man, what a fight for Aurora there. And like you mentioned, you know, I feel like Domin Kite, considering where he even was in that team fight and able to reposition, was phenomenal. And that was also because Edward able to go ahead and play that support role in an instance. Utilizing the Bedang kit here is what helped him stay alive. So now this gives Aurora the opportunity once again to play into this Lord. And with this, it's going to be really a lot of work for TLPH to defend against it. Yes, they're still able to provide a lot of damage with this lineup. They should be able to go ahead and defend at least the majority of this push. And I don't think this is a game-winning Lord unless they just massively lose this next team fight once the Lord reaches the base.
Yeah, and Team Liquid loses, it's a massive loss. At most, they can lose all their inhibitors, maybe even just 2 inhibitors, but to lose the game in this push already would mean that something went terribly wrong for Team Liquid. It's very defendable in their case right now. But if Aurora pulls this off, then it becomes an excellence and execution for them.
Top lane inhibitor already bursted down. Okay, so Sanji still holding on to that Raging Sandstorm.
Yeah, Divine Glaive just built up by him. Renegade has an immortality, so he can go for a sour play if he wants to.
Okay, looks like they're just going to clear it out. They only lose the top base turret for now. So TLPH will hold their own. Again, at this point in the game, this is usually the average game time for both these teams. You know, the 15 to 16 minute mark before they end it, but it's going to be a little bit longer. But Aurora does
there's the ult coming in from OM! Paired up with the Raging Sandstorm coming in from Tachi as they take down Yue. Now the chase is on. Dominic's already popped this pure by Call. Starway Blast gonna be able to bring him down. On the other hand, Demon Knight on the back line, but a Wiki Shadow kill. Carl Teasy still racing after Renegade. Immortality will be popped, but OM and Carl Teasy says no and brings him down. 4 men will fall down for the side of Aurora.
What just happened? TLPH turns it around.
They tried to divide and conquer the other, but Liquid, they showed their own excellence in execution. Even though it looked like Oheb would be down for the count, it's his duo. It's the baby to his cakes that helped him out.
1 second, Yue will respawn. Good ultimate coming in from Edward to avoid that. Ultimate coming in from JP as Yue with the Crimson Beacon might be able to take down one. Winter Crowns are in play as they take down Yue. Dominic with a huge SOD to bring down one more. Oheb after the chase. Dominic Immortality but surrounded by 3. And an unstoppable kill from Oheb.
Minions!
Minions onto the bottom lane. This might be another Minions game. Will they make it in time? Aurora, TLPH needs to recall. 2 are there, and they'll be able to defend it.
They are still in the game.
What is happening?
Lord is up. What is happening in this one?
We're redefining what it means to be a champion with a new trophies. Showing off what the trophy you win in the Philippines is the most sought after, the one that holds the most weight.
Oigi Shadow kill from Team Kite. One more hit onto Carl Teasy, but he was able to escape. Here comes a grab coming in from Sanford, surrounded by 4. This might be the sacrificial play for TLPH, but was it worth it? No. Renegade almost spotted out Carl Teasy, and now Aurora set their eyes on this Lord.
Oh man, forget what's happened in the past 17 minutes because right now this Lord is crucial, but Aurora will be the ones to get it after taking out Sanford, and now can TLPH replicate what they did earlier to possibly turn the game around again.
All right. Okay, going back to the attempt by Team Liquid Philippines to end the game. Premature. They should not have pushed way too deep. Seems like they forgot about the timers, especially of the comeback of the Moskov, who with Dominicite hitting that Spear of Destruction was able to help turn things around, leading to the point where Team Liquid Philippines, who lost track of their macro, the top lane minion waves, now it's the top lane minion waves that are the heaviest, and now they have to defend against this. This is going to be a hard defense for the Cavalry.
They're going to have to. Aurora out on the outskirts of this. They still want to take these base turrets down. Oheb's working on the lore to clear it out. Sanford takes quite a bit of damage, but Aurora's eyes are set on the base turrets. They have a lot of work to do, but again, the amount of defense that this lineup gives for TLPH, they stay in the game.
Yeah, Aurora didn't risk it. They couldn't get enough hits down on the middle tower to decide to play under a tower dive. If they could have gotten Dominkai to bring it down to at least 50-40% health, then they would have decided to dive it. But since they just could not, even though Renji had a really good angle there in the back, as you saw, they had to pull out of the fight. Here, overextension by Liquid. Lost track of the minion respawn time at 16:10. Lost track of the respawn timer of Dominkite. They were a little bit too eager to try and end the game there. They should have focused a little bit more on getting control back onto the side lanes. That's one of the biggest pressure points right now on Team Liquid's side, that they cannot get good macro control at the top and the bottom.
So this is the question. That by the time this next Lord comes up, you know, about a minute or so away, are they actually able to go ahead and contest it? Are they actually in a fighting position, and do they put themselves in that position to contest it, or is it better for them to go ahead and try to defend? Because now we're talking about a Lord that is beefed up, and we know that stat before that we talked about previously, last week even, where the team that gets that Lord that's evolved usually ends up having a high percentage of winning the game here. So TLPH might not have a choice. They might just have to go and fight it out against Aurora.
Yeah, but they have to watch out for the potential backdoor play. Again, they have Dominkite who's working on the macros with the Moskov, but now Aurora went for the opposite side. They might try and go for a crucial pickoff. Again, Flickers are available for Edward and for Renegade, but they're instead going to try and contest for this purple buff. Let's see who's going to initiate first between the two teams.
Knowing that they have some immortalities too, Aurora might even take a chance just to give them that advantage for securing the next Lord here. So they'll go ahead and they just check things out. JP's going to force them back though too, as he does have his immortality. So the Lord is coming up, and Aurora will go ahead and make their way for this. The buffs are up, so we'll see Demon Kite go ahead and secure that. Winter Crown being picked up here for UA. That could be a big item for them in this next fight.
I like the last 3 items that Oheb went for here as the Kimmy. That's why he's standing at 8, 2, and 4. Concentrated Energy, Blood Wings, and even a Wind of Nature. Knowing that a lot of the physical damage dive that Aurora can dish out onto him is what he needs to defend against. So he's balanced of course, what you get now with the Kimmy with the attack speed, how her skills actually also scale off of physical damage, so she gets just a little bit of that from the Wind of Nature as well as the extra attack speed, so that you increase the magic power of the Kimmy with more attack speed that you get. Good sustainability. It's a good build by Oheb.
Good stop there from Sanji. Already has his Raging Sandstorm as well. JP trying to soak up the damage. They might set their eyes onto Renegade. Already forced out the Raging Sandstorm, so one less initiation for Aurora.
Yeah, the good thing for Team Liquid there is that JP actually didn't need to use his Tsunami Slam, but the early to mid-game problem of Team Liquid Philippines, of them not being able to take care of the side lanes enough, is what's giving them such a hard time for these late game Lord dances. They have to clean up so much to just try and contest for the Lord. It's tough every single time.
Yep, you're setting Sanford basically on a glue to deal with these wave pushes. Here's the Lord though, it's a quarter of the health.
Traction Pulse coming in from Oheb, but is it going to be enough? The Raging Sandstorm is there, and Renegade secures the Lord. Clash still going on. Garthizi working on UA. Winter Crown coming in from UA as they take down Sanji. Next man down is Demon Kite. TLPH wants to go for more. They're trying to go for Demon Kite. Edward onto the back, trying to chase after Oheb. They bring down Demon Kite. UA wants to answer back. Garthizi 1 hit away, but will be able to take him down. JP Immortality Pump might be able to escape, but up against 3, there is no escape, and a double for UA.
3v2 Lord marching up top. It's just the Kimmy and the glue. Team Liquid Philippines might actually be able to hold on here. They don't have their main physical damage dealers, but they have the attack speed based Badang. They have US Juice in, Renegade as well. They might just be able to try and force this Aurora. It could be risky, or it could be very, very rewarding for them.
Oh, they're going to manage the waves, and now they're going to deal with this Lord and the rest. It's Sanford and Oheb. Can they hold their own against this push from Aurora?
Doing their best to delay Sanford. No immortality, Raging Sandstorm, but Oheb was able to dodge it. Sanford's immortality will be popped. Trying to work on the Lord. Enough delay is there for TLPH. 2 seconds before Sanji goes in a tower lock coming in from the northern lights, but they were able to clear out the Lord. Edward's immortality pop, and TLPH still holding on. Winter Crown plays. Spear of Destruction will miss. Sanji with a counter Raging Sandstorm to bring down Edward.
TLPH will defend 23 minutes in with only 2 members, and Oheb made it happen alongside Sanford. What a defense for the Cavalry.
This could have been a different story if the Spear of Destruction of that Moskov hit, but it missed. Aurora did everything they could to try and end there. The right call, the right play. But Sanford on that glue held on for dear life to give space for Oheb to deal just enough damage so that when Sanji got back, Aurora had to back off.
Oh man, when you look at this, this is a masterclass of knowing where to be, especially when you're Sanford. And like you mentioned, if that spear landed, it could have been a different story. But TLPH just played that so well. Again, you got to remember how difficult it is to deal with that kind of evolved Lord pushing in, the waves also together, and the way that Oheb had to juggle around that whole thing. So now it all brings us to this once again. Lord is coming up almost at the 25-minute mark. And the biggest advantage Aurora has is they only have that 1 base turret down for now, while meanwhile TLPH has to deal with these pushes coming in from all lanes. And who's going to be the one to go ahead and deal with that? A lot of times it's Sanford. So we might see Aurora also choose to go ahead and play with possibly putting Demon Kite on one of those side lanes to push in. But now that this Lord is up here, they'll wait for that buff to come up in the purple for Demon Kite and then get ready to play this out again. Again, one of the biggest differences in this fight, though, is the immortalities were all popped in the last exchange.
Yep.
So they got to rely on the other defensive items that they might have for this. They still have to take their time with this Lord coming up. JP?
Already went in with the Tsunami Slam, got Edward, but Edward was able to counter her out. Here comes Renegade onto the back, forcing out OF to walk away as Dominguez goes in. Right after the backline, still no bodies down, but Renegade is the first man. They might go for Dominguez. Immortality pump, surrounded by 4, a double kill coming in from OF. The next one is Edward. Edward is gonna fall down in the hands of Sanji, and all of a sudden, the tides have shifted to the cavalry.
Just like that, 3 fall. This level out of minion waves to handle. Demon Cat's gonna try and split push Ed up against the glue. Hayabusa versus glue. 3 versus 1 in the base of Aurora.
It's gonna be a base push as Demon Kai already committed a Wiki shadow kill. 1 minion card left for TLPH. Sanford still holding his own. Is this enough time bought for TLPH? OM has his eyes on the base. They're locking in, but you are trying to